My name's Jeffrey Stephen of the House of Jarrett. Now you put a face with a name. I am the one that sues this group, and I'm holding you accountable. And the reason being, legislation will not bring back the dead nor the harm. There are hundreds of people that are not allowed onto their property except strangers through the EPA are sifting through their sacred property and sacred ground, and they are not being investigated. This same material is then removed from the site and supposedly being sent to the mainland. That should be of high concern to you, because if this chamber, who addressed this same issue in 2018, is allowing people from out of our country, the nation of Hawaii, or the state of Hawaii, to abscond this information, because I guarantee you, none of you know exactly what's responsible for this fire. None of you do. And because of that, it's a crime scene. And if it's a crime scene and they're removing the product or spraying product on it, the EPA spraying product on it, and then they're removing product from it, you don't know if it's an accelerant from chemtrails, whatever those things are, or if it was malfeasance by the electrical department, Hawaii Electric, Maui Electric, same company, or if it's malfeasance by maladministration, because I, as a builder, I'm licensed in electrical, plumbing, general contracting. I'm licensed to remove asbestos, toxic metals, and lead. And I can guarantee you, I have seen pictures of these people doing their thing, and they are not in hazmat suits that qualify for them to remove lead from a house, let alone toxic waste. Yet they are. You don't know what is going on. And they're basically, because of that, it's a crime scene, and they are manipulating, taking material from it. Under Title 18 USC 4, malfeasance and a form of fraud. You now know that this has gone on, and because of that, you must do an estoppel immediately so you can have a true investigation from outside sources that are not from someone that, whether it's a directed energy weapon or chemicals coming down or the electrical department not having the correct size poles up, or the administration not demanding that it's done right, or this group not demanding it's done right. You have a responsibility. Not just to me. I come in the name of Yeshua. You have a responsibility before God. You're going to all account before a living God. And trust me, you see the scar on my face? I died at the age of 15 months. I drowned at the age of 3. I've had other things that have happened. I know the other side exists. So please, for the children's sake that did not get to speak because they were incinerated, investigate this whole thing. Have an estoppel, go in immediately, take information out so you can find out exactly who, what, and how it actually happened, so it doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. What you just saw was a clip from the county meeting they had 2 days ago on the 14th of September. It seems like there's a lot of, and I hate using the term disinformation, misinformation going around the internet, especially on YouTube. And I just think that, like I've said before and I've expressed it before, I think it's a disservice not only to the people who are suffering, the people who have passed because of these fires, but it's also, on a bigger scale, it's a disservice to humanity. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because I find it hard to believe that just one entity, let's just say the Census Bureau on Hawaii, has not come up with a number of the people that suffered from this fire, okay, they stay stuck to the number 115. Where not too long ago, a little while ago, either earlier today or sometime yesterday, the police chief came out and he's trying to push towards the fact that, from what I take, that the number's gone down to 97. Okay, but that they're still working to find out more. But before I continue, I just want to thank all my new subscribers on YouTube and on Rumble. I want to thank everybody that's been watching my content. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and pass the channel around to your family, friends. You know, let's keep this channel going, and let's get those subscribers up, so like that I can keep pushing content out. But with that being said, the reason why I bring up the Census Bureau is because there's been a big major flood out in the Middle East, okay, and that happened, what, 2 days ago? They've already estimated the death toll being at about 20,000. Okay. It's so bad that the mud from all the water, I mean, you're talking, it's gone up 2 or 3 stories. I mean, it's catastrophic. And yet, they already have a figure so far of how many people have perished. Okay? Within 2 days. Whereas Lahaina is going on 5 weeks now. You've seen on my other video, the one I put out yesterday, of how they're still sifting through everything, and it's been a very hush delicate operation, because they know that what they're dealing with is what the man you heard just say about people being incinerated. So in my opinion, it's a major cover-up, and the reason why I say that, well, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons, listening to this man, he mentioned something that I mentioned in one of my videos over a week ago, when I put out a piece of footage that showed a fire that just started out of nowhere. This was by someone that was driving with their phone on, with their, recording, when the whole chaos started earlier that day, around 1 o'clock, 1:30, driving on the highway, and you'll see a fire spark up on his right side, and he says that the fire jumped over the highway, but if you see on the left side, there was no fire anywhere near where the second fire started on the right side. It's as plain as day, you can see it. And I believe during that video I came out and said it almost seems, the way I look at, if you look at a lot of the spots where the fire hit, it was like one car was burned, nothing else around it was burned. 2 cars were burned, nothing else around it was burned. And you see a lot of areas that are like that. And I had mentioned that it almost seems as if somebody could have sprayed something at some given point that nobody would have realized it. They could have did it late at night. They could have did it even in plain sight during the day. People don't really pay attention, especially if you're dressed up like, let's say, somebody that does landscaping. Okay, you see landscapers spraying stuff all the time, and nobody gives it a second thought. And then this man comes out and mentions about accelerants. And that's what caught my eye about this video. Another thing that's really been bothering me is I'm noticing that not a lot, but there's still one person in particular, and there's a couple of others that are trying to downgrade, and almost as if they're trying to sway the, how can I say, the people's perspective on what's going on. And they're doing it in a way that it's very aggravating to listen to this person. But I watch their content, I'm watching what's going on, and I'm like, it almost seems as if this person is trying to stray people away from wanting to investigate more. And they're doing it in a way that they're getting on everybody's soft side. Okay, one of the things this person in particular keeps bringing up is the fact that they've driven around all of Hawaii and in search of the school buses and trying to tell everybody that's watching their content that I've driven around and there is no way school buses could have disappeared, so get that out of your head, and the children are not missing, so just stop it right now, and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, either this person is really gullible, this person doesn't really want to know the truth, or this person is being told what to say. And the reason why I say that, it's got to be one of those three, because it all points to one thing. Why go and look for something like that, but yet not go and investigate where are those buses that everybody's talking about? Because truth be told, not even the media, the police chief, the governor, the mayor, they've tried to put down every so-called conspiracy about what's going on, but yet they've said nothing about the school buses that people have been claiming they saw. People have been claiming that they know that their child was picked up from school in a school bus and supposedly dropped off at home. This person in particular says that there is no way that even if that did happen, there is no way they could have got the children off the island. Now, I'm not doing this video to go down that road about the missing children in school buses. No. What I'm saying is that this person keeps putting out this information every day. And I'm not saying they're not doing some things that are good. I can see what they're doing good, on some of their content. But why do you keep sticking to that narrative? What is your obsession with trying to shoot that narrative down? Everybody has the right to think of what they want to think. But when the truth comes out, that's when many minds could be put to rest. Another thing this particular person came on and said that, and then they just think that in their opinion, the reason why all the black fencing is up is because it's stopping the heavy winds from blowing dust onto the road. Excuse me. Now, in any other case, I would agree with that and say, you know what, you're right. It was a fire in a chemical plant. There were some casualties that are accounted for. They got to cordon up the area. There's a lot of wind and all that. That I get. But they would totally encircle the whole area. What this person's not understanding is that the fires came down supposedly from the mountain. The winds, I should say, that blew the fires came down from the mountain out towards the sea. Okay? Now, I'm not on Hawaii. I don't know which way the wind is blowing. I do know the wind does blow from the sea and inland. That happens. But if that's the case, that they put that fencing up as this person thinks, they didn't claim that it is true, but this is what they think, then why not put a wall up against this where the ocean's at, so nothing blows back and forth? It's as if they're trying to tell whoever's watching, this is what's going on, you have to believe me, even though they're saying, I don't believe what the police chief and governor and, all the officials are saying. So, what is it exactly that you do believe? In my opinion, that's what I'm thinking. Because you're saying that you don't believe what the powers that be that were in charge are saying, but yet you're trying to, on the other hand, you're trying to downplay what other people are thinking. Like I said, as if your word is scripture. Now, I'm not saying this person's a bad person. I'm not saying some of the YouTubers out there are bad people. I mean, because right now everything's coming in from all different outlets. Okay? From political officials to media outlets, YouTube content creators. I mean, it's coming from all over. But if anybody notices, a lot of the information is getting more, is narrowing down more to where at some point there's only going to be a handful of reasonable explanations of what's really going on. One of them right now is, like I've been saying in a lot of my videos, that the powers that be, they've been contradicting themselves for so long. And people are beginning to believe them, and they're beginning to put out information out there to back up those lies, basically. And that's why I say it's a disservice to humanity. Because if you can do that to your own people, per se, then you'll be able to do that to people that, you know, from another country, without a doubt. Without a second thought. You'd be like, you know what? I don't care about the people in my country. Why would I care about the people in other country? In other countries, I should say. And when you still have people like this man, and there's more, I'm going to show another clip, coming out up until 2 days ago, and you'll see on some of the other clips that I'm going to show soon of more testimony, it makes me wonder what exactly is going on in Maui that you see more people coming out, okay? The media, political officials, some independents, making it seem as if everything's okay, everything's getting back to normal. But yet you still have people going to all these meetings and still giving their testimony, their horror stories, and still asking the same questions. Where are the children? What's the real body count? What are you going to do with the land? Where's the help? And me personally, I'm going to take the victim side of the ones that are still out there asking questions. Not the ones that are complacent because they've obviously made some kind of peace within themselves. But there's one person in particular is making it seem as if, you know what? They made a comment and said that if everybody is willing to let it go, we got to respect that. It's none of our business. That right there tells me, you know what? You're not doing what's right. You're not. You're not doing what's right for the children that went missing. You're not doing what's right for all the people, men, women, and children that are still missing. This person also said that they will not go into hospitals to talk to anybody. They will not go find, you know, victims and stuff like that. They will not do that because they're just not going to, you know, go down that route because it's not right. And I'm thinking in my head, so then who exactly is it that you're interviewing that you want to take their testimony and make everybody else believe that's what's really going on? And if I had to guess, I now this is just my opinion, that this person is being scripted on what to say because they're beginning to sound more and more like the governor, the mayor, the police chief, and all the powers that be that are trying to hide things and putting out lies. Okay? I'm going to show another clip from this meeting by another gentleman. Here we go.
Mario Vendetti, representing Pu Ho'olai on Kauai. And if this council wanted to solve any issues, you'd be listening to all the issues. Because if you want investigations, we need investigations into the water department. We need investigations into the police. Why, when we had 2 qualified sheriffs that were local, did we go hire a sheriff coming out of a scandal out of Las Vegas, placing him in power not only
that, giving him a 20% raise. What's that about? And my friends are getting chained into the Lahaina Luna, back into the fire, by these police brought from Vegas. I want an investigation into the governor. The governor is in charge of all this. And I want to know why the land hasn't been tested. Why am I, a citizen out of Hana, Kauai, having to try to get private tests on water and land?
I'm going to stop it right there real quick. Okay, this I find very concerning, and I mentioned it in another video, and it has been proven because I believe it was the governor that came out and said it. This has all the makings of something that was definitely sprayed, I believe, in certain areas and all around. Something was done to make this fire break out of control the way it did. And the reason being is one thing that a lot of people are not hearing about, but it's out there. And this is not by people that, you know, conspiracy theories or somebody videotaped. No, this was by public officials, okay? They said that they needed to dig up to 6 inches of the dirt around the fire area. They had to clean up. They had to go that deep to clean up. And nobody's questioning that. And it makes you wonder why. Okay? Now this man is coming out. This, like I said, this was 2 days ago. And he's talking about certain things. Okay? So I'm going to bring it back to what I was saying about this certain person that's talking about that there's no way children could have been taken off the island. Like I said, the person must be very gullible. But here's the thing. If anybody knows that the powers that be, when they want something, they will do whatever they want. And they will hide whatever they want in plain sight. Just for that control. So people need to pay close attention to what's going on and who's putting information out there. Okay? I can easily put my face on a camera, walk around the street and ask certain people and do hundreds of hours of videotape and pick and choose what it is I want. Okay? Like some people are doing. They're on the ground. They're videotaping whatever it is, they're editing, and they're putting certain faces on there just to get that feel-good narrative as if, you know what, things are moving forward. Everything's going to be fine. Things are working. When in reality, what's going on in Hawaii, it's not. It's really not. We're being showed two different sides of what's going on. And again, I'll say it, it's a disservice to humanity. But let's continue.
Because nobody in our government will help us. The only person's Gabe Johnson. That's the only person I got respect for. And you silencing people when they're talking about real issues. We have water that's given us leukemia. I am probably already infected with benzene and gonna have leukemia because from day one, I've been doing runs into Lahaina Luna, into Hawaiian Homes, into Waikuli, covered in the dust. I have nowhere to clean myself off. It's just benzene water cleaning me off. I'm breathing that in all day long because the county's not out there helping the people. So I'm developing a water transport system for me out. I've got flatbed trucks coming, 1,000-gallon tanks, 300-gallon water buffaloes in each neighborhood. Because nobody that was elected to take care of the people is helping. We weren't getting supplies from the county. We had to call in our brothers and sisters from other islands, from Kihei. I had to call my friends that were captains of pack whaleboats, getting them to bring supplies. I didn't see one official. I set up a communication post in the Times parking lot because that was the safest place. Food, water options, restrooms, concrete area. I didn't see one official for 48 hours. And then when they did come, when the police did show up, they came to disperse our communication post when we had no information, no communication. And so I hold all of you responsible, most specifically the governor.
There you go. That's one other person's story. Okay? And it really, really bothers me that I go online today to look up information. I go on YouTube and the story is getting less and less and less. And it's as if they're not putting it on the front page, let's just say. Okay? What you're beginning to see now is people discrediting the stories. Okay, we're beginning to see more of that. And when people start believing that narrative, that's when they start switching away, tuning out from it. They start forgetting. And people like this gentleman is going to keep suffering because you have others out there saying, we've got this. We've got the numbers. We've got the information. We've got the intel. We've got boots on the ground. We got this. But yet the people are still suffering. You got others out there, like I said, picking and choosing and putting feel-good videos together and making it seem like, you know what? Everything's back to normal and they're going to be fine. Really? Is that what you think? Because until that black fencing comes up, until every man, woman, and child that is still missing is accounted for, that's not moving on. If an individual person wants to move on to have closure, then that's fine. That's up to everybody's, that's everybody's prerogative. But when you have people out there telling their testimony that they have friends who their friends, their whole family, their friend and the whole family was killed, I'm sorry, but that number 115 just doesn't fly. Okay? I mean, you're talking about bodies that were in the water, bodies that were in cars, bodies that were in houses, bodies that from people that they were able to identify because they died of smoke inhalation, stuff like that. People in the hospitals with massive burns, third-degree burns. Nobody's talking about that. It's anybody. And if you see the video, send me the link. I have not seen not one damn story of any survivor from Maui, burn victim, in the hospital. Not by the media, not by anybody doing a video, nothing, not one thing. Not one thing. I keep seeing information on people that are up and walking, which is great. But when you still have officials and now you have more people trying to downgrade the severity of what's going on, that's all by design. Now, I can show you guys a lot more of this video, but I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's about an hour long, and it's different people at this council meeting. Okay? It's something that you just can't forget. You if you have an ounce of humanity in you, you can't let this go. Now, I'm not saying keep a narrative going, like just to bring people down. No. But until the same people that you see on all these videos that are suffering, until you start seeing their testimony, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, where now they're saying that things are better and you're seeing their words again, like they're doing better, nothing could be discounted. You can't let it go. Because the powers that be are trying to shut them down as it is. Okay? And getting back to the whole school bus thing, I truly hope that is not the case. I truly hope, even though it sounds wrong, because that means that it's only one or the other. It's either the children were taken or they perished. But I truly hope that wasn't the case. Okay? But I tell you what, until somebody finds out exactly where those buses are at, until the governor, the mayor, or the police chief speaks out against that so-called conspiracy theory and shows proof, I don't want to hear a damn thing about anybody talk about those school buses as if they know exactly what happened, but yet they have no proof. Okay? I call BS on it. Alright? One of my videos yesterday, the last video I put out, James O'Keefe, okay, O'Keefe Media Group, he went there. He's on the ground now. It's funny how he was able to get so much information the one time he's there. And yet other people that are on the ground putting video out that in my eyes seems like he's trying to persuade people not to keep looking into this. It's funny how they keep putting video after video, and yet they haven't gotten anywhere near what James O'Keefe did in a few hours while he was in Hawaii. There's a difference. There's people that are truly going there to dig for the truth because they truly care. There's people that, you know what, they don't want to know the truth. So in my opinion, if you don't want to know the truth, then mind your business. Keep your happy ass home. And then there's people there that are going to just put out the so-called disinformation. Okay, that the powers that be say they fight against, but yet they're the ones putting it out first themselves. So we can't let this go, people. Okay? For the children's sake, for the elderly people that couldn't make it out, for the innocent people, the strong, young, innocent people. I mean, so many people. So in other words, you can't let this go for all the victims. Okay? It's not right. Being born and raised in New York after 9/11, there's still so many questions unanswered. Okay? Still unanswered. And believe me, back then, I mean, the cover-up was not as big as what we're seeing with Maui. We're talking, this was 22 years ago. And the cover-ups came, but not on a scale like this. This whole thing reeks of a cover-up. So if anybody for a hot minute thinks, or I should say, that believe that something did happen, that this was planned, if they think that on top of that no kids couldn't have been abducted, then you don't know what the hell you're thinking. My opinion, like I said. Okay? Because one goes hand in hand with the other. Wicked people, okay, by any means necessary, they will get what they want. Especially when they have money and power. But anyway, I'm True Hello Patriot. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, pass it around. Let's keep this going until we find out the truth, people. Okay, until every single person is accounted for. We can't let this go. It just wouldn't be right. Till then, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.